Something called nihilism can take the form of a sophisticated philosophy that makes claims about the cosmos, but it can also be a concrete attitude that we take toward life, such as perhaps can be summed up as the conviction, presumably, if it's real nihilism, not just with my mouth, but deeply viscerally felt, that nothing that I do can really make a difference. It really doesn't matter. So to what extent, what extent it might that be so? To what extent is that attitude justified? And if it's not justified, what might be a more realistic attitude? One probably fertile source of this state of mind, of this conviction, would be the contemplation of, quote unquote, the cosmos, of existence, from, so to say, third person point of view. Right? For example, I can go to a zoo and see that all the animals are busy. Go to a farm and see that all the cows are concerned to get their grass, all the pigs are concerned to get their slop. Right? Watch the plants, all the bees are concerned to get their pollen. All of this comes across to me as a sort of show. I don't feel any of their desires, any of their pleasure. For example, the pleasure of the pig as it slurps up the slop that we presume is there. I don't feel any of their pains. So to me, it's a kind of performance, so to say. Obviously, not intentional on behalf of the animals, but just so to speak. It's like I'm just watching something, like on a screen, but in real life. Now, I could then do that conceptually with the entirety of the extent, including people. I could, for example, just in my mind, even without necessarily saying something, think about how every person or most people are like busy little bees pursuing their own ends, chasing after something, doing something. And yet, to me, contemplating this from a sort of third person point of view, it's like a show. And I can see, or I think that I see, that all of that has really no point, right? To me, it seems. Just like all the animals are busy doing their thing, and yet I know soon they will be dirt or bacon or burgers or chicken breast. What have we? Right? So why are you so concerned right now, chicken, to peck at your seeds? Why are you so concerned right now, cow, to eat your grass? Soon you will be here no longer. And just so I may think about all the people that there are and that have lived, and I may ask myself, what is the point, right? Soon they're all going to be dead. And most people that have ever lived are dead. Where are their dreams? Where are their dilemmas? It doesn't matter. And consequently, I may think, it follows that my life, being as well a part of that show, doesn't matter either. Consequently, nothing that I do makes a difference. I can do or not do something, and it just, who cares? It's whatever. So, what might be here a mistake of reasoning that is made? One mistake would be undue abstraction. And that is a common problem across all areas and attempts to understand. Should we say across all attempts to understand in all areas? Philosophy, science, what have we? It's taking something that might seem to be so, just by this kind of generalization. All people are greedy. All people are good. I believe everybody is this or that. Taking some kind of generalization and not really pausing to try to work out the details. So here, which detail would I be omitting? I would be omitting the detail that, what appears to me as just objects, as a sort of show. I can deduce from my own or infer from my own experience or lives that are being lived. So in order to understand other lives, I have to try to understand my own life. I can't just look at life in terms of objects, in terms of people scurrying about, and not consider myself, my first person point of view, and then hope to understand anything at all. And if I consider my life in my point of view, I see that, or I can note a couple of facts about that, about my life. One would be that there's really no escape from my life. I can go to sleep, but my dreams will be in view of who I am. I can maybe have anesthesia, and it's a tricky question, general anesthesia, where I go. But wherever I am, there I am. Whenever I am, there I am. I can't really run away from myself. A second fact would be that I cannot really get rid of the claims of my nature. Meaning, just like kind of stuck with my body and its demands, I'm stuck with the need to eat, to drink. And if I don't, I'm going to suffer. And I can say it doesn't matter, but I just can't extinguish those needs. I can't eliminate them and press erase, get rid of the need to breathe. Just so for myself, right, as a subject, as an I, as a self, as a life, I can't get rid of the essential demands of my subjectivity. But what I can do is I can disregard them and consequently drop to ever descending depths of degeneracy, darkness, doom, and living death, such as is intrinsically and necessarily undesirable, and such as no philosophy of nihilism can rescue me from. Right? So we see again that the mistake here comes from not considering that the immediate datum of analysis shouldn't be this abstraction. Oh, it's the earth and all the people and all the animals. It should be my life right here, right now. And two, I have demands of my life as a subjective subject, such as I cannot erase. I can either try to meet them or I can try to ignore them. And if I do the latter, then I will descend into an intrinsically undesirable condition. Conversely, however, if I do the former, then I can ascend, not descend, to an intrinsically amiable, meaning intrinsically satisfactory condition, such as is its own reward and doesn't need any sort of extrinsic validation from the quote unquote cosmos or from anybody or anything else to testify to its desirability, right? I don't need, and speaking of which, that could be another error. I could be easily visualizing the vast, um, you know, scapes of the cosmos, meaning landscapes, the stars, and the this and the that, whatever I've read in maybe astronomy textbooks or seen some videos on. The universe is very big, the solar system is huge. Who cares? It doesn't care about me. I don't need to care that much about it. It's not there for me. If I'm hungry and thirsty, meaning, the big universe and the big stars, so why should I care about the big universe and the big stars when I'm happy? Why should they disrupt my happiness? So that's irrelevant. Those are just appearances that may or may not enter into our particular conscious experience and concepts as well. Right, so the bottom line would be that I have a subjective life and I need to tend to the claims of that subjective life or I will be doomed and somebody else won't be. Right? Somebody who doesn't have a nihilistic philosophy, somebody who takes themselves seriously, somebody who takes their life seriously, somebody who attempts to sincerely meet the exigencies, meaning the claims and demands of their human nature, tries to sincerely realize their human nature, their individuality, that person will be in a good position. That person will be um, moving in the direction of well-being, and I won't be. Right? And I can, try to reach for any kind of philosophy to justify that or to say it really doesn't matter. But those are the facts on the table. I can say that, but in the long run, it doesn't matter. So again, I wouldn't say that for the need to breathe. The fact that, in a million years, nobody will care that I need to breathe. It's irrelevant to me. I need to breathe now, and just so I need to eat. And there's a very good chance that I also don't care what the future has to say about my selfish desires. Right? It's particularly about any more noble aspirations that I may have that attitude. Oh, a million years, it won't matter. And further, who said what a million years is and what will and won't matter? Those are all theoretical questions. The point would be that if I do right by way of myself, in terms of my nature, and I strive to meet its demands, not obviously just for the body, those demands including food, oxygen, and all that, for myself as a subject, then I will be in a good position to have the best possible outcome that is possible for a conscious creature. And if I don't, then I won't. And I will be moving in the wrong direction. That's something concrete to say too. Nihilism as concretely expressed in our attitudes. Thank you for listening.